Oops. All right, video 6, number 39. If 7,200 is invested at 5% compounded continuously, what amount of time, you're solving for t, would be needed to have a balance of this? Use the formula around your answers to the nearest hundredth. Bubble your answer in the grid below. There's no grid, obviously, so we'll just work the problem. Okay, so this is the amount that you end up with. So that's the A. 9,360 is equal to, P is the amount you're investing, 7,200, times E to the R times T. R is 0.05. T is what we're solving for. So we want to first divide both sides by 7,200, and that comes out to be 1.3 equals E to the 0.05t. Now, like on the other problem, to get an exponent down, our variable is up in an exponent. We take the log of both sides. But since it's an E, instead of log, we're going to use natural log. Natural log of 1.3 equals natural log of E to the 0.05t. And natural log 1.3 is just natural log 1.3. And remember this from the other page. Natural log of E to the whatever equals the whatever. So this whole right hand side equals 0.05t. So the baby steps of that would be, I take natural log of E to the 0.05t. I put my exponent down to be the multiplier. And the natural log of E is just 1. Because remember, natural log means log base E. And when those two numbers match, the whole thing just equals 1. So 0.05t times 1 is 0.05t. And next we would want to divide both sides by 0.05 to solve for t. And then I would pop that in my calculator. Natural log of 1.3 equals divided by 0.05. So you want to make sure that you're taking the natural log of 1.3 only, or I guess maybe put the parentheses there, and then dividing that by 0.05. And this came out to 5.25 years. And now our matrices. My goodness. So you can do these with the calculator. You will be able to use the graphing calculators. So you could just enter each of these, matrix A, matrix B, all the way down, enter them all in, and then just type it exactly how you see it. So on this one I would type -2 times mat B plus 3 times mat E. But I'm going to do and you could do that on all of these. 41 would be similar. Find the inverse of C, so I would type mat C inverse. And that one would just be multiplying mat D times mat C. And same with the last two. But I'm going to do, for the video, I'm going to do them all longhand instead of using the calculator. So -2b plus 3e. So I'm going to find -2 times b. So -2b would be multiplying all of those by -2. So -4, -12, +2, +8, negative 10, and positive 6. And now I'm going to find 3e. So that's multiplying all of those guys by 3. Negative 9, 12, negative 3, 3, and 6, 6, and negative 6. And now I can add those. Add them together. So final answer of negative 2b plus 3e is negative 4 plus negative 9 is negative 13. Negative 12 plus 12 is 0. 2 plus negative 3 is negative 1. 8 plus 3 is 11. Negative 10 plus 6 is negative 4. 6 plus negative 6 is 0. 3a minus 2c. So let's find 3a. Negative 3, 12, negative 6, negative 3, 12, negative 6, 0. And now I'm going to either just find 2c, and then I would minus them, or I could do negative 2c, and then I would be adding them. So that would be up to you. I'm going to find negative 2c. 6, negative 4, negative 8, positive 10. So now that that's negative 2c, I'm going to be adding them. Plus negative 2c is the same as minus 2c. Negative 3 plus 6 is 3. 12 plus negative 4 is 8. Negative 6 plus negative 8 is negative 14. And 0 plus 10 is 10. Find the inverse of c. So I'm going to copy c down real quick so I can zoom in. 4, negative 5. All right, first we find the determinant of c, which would be negative 3 times negative 5 minus 4 times 2. That would be positive 15 minus 8 is 7. So for the inverse, I put 7 on the bottom of 1/7, times, and I swap those two. So negative 5 to the top, negative 3 to the bottom, and then I make these two just whatever the opposite sign that they are. Negative 2, negative 4. And I do the multiplication. It's called scalar multiplication. Negative 5/7, negative 2/7, negative 4/7, and negative 3/7 for the inverse. And now d times c. D is a 2 by 3. C is a 2 by 2. And the inner dimensions do not match, so I can't do it. B times D. B is a 3 by 2. D is a 2 by 3. So the inner dimensions do match, and so my answer matrix is a 3 by 3. So I'm going to write them next to each other real quick. Oops, my screen went down. B is 2, 6, negative 1, negative 4, 5, negative 3. And D is 1, 0, negative 2, 4, negative 5, 6. So I'm going to build a 3 by 3. For my answer matrix. And now we're going to go first row by each of the columns one at a time. That gives us our first row. And then we'll do second row by each of the columns. That gives us our second row, etc. So first row, first column. I'm multiplying. So 2 times 1 is 2, plus 6 times 4 is 24. Second row, first row, second column. 2 times 0, 6 times negative 5. First row, last column. Negative 12 minus 24. Now we're doing, I'll use a different color, second row. Negative 1 times 1 is negative 1. Negative 4 times 4 is minus 16. Second column, 0 plus 20. Third column, 2 minus 24. And now third row with all the columns. 5 times 1 is 5, negative 12, 0 plus 15, negative 10 minus 18. And then I am running out of room. I'm going to just make that smaller. Two plus 24 is 26, negative 30, negative 36, negative 17, 20, negative 22, negative 7, 15, negative 28. And I'm just checking on my paper to make sure I got the same thing. So I didn't, I messed up. I messed up somewhere. This one is different than my page. So that would have been 2 times negative 2. Wait. It would have been first row, last column. 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. 6 times 6, no. Blah, blah, blah. What am I doing? Yeah, I just did something totally wrong on that one, didn't I? So, first row, last column. For first row, last column. Negative 4 plus 36 is 32. (36 minus 4 is 32. Negative 22, 20, 20, 15, 26, everything else looks good. And then we have C times A. C, I have to go back up so I can see it. C is a 2 by 2. A is a 2 by 2, so we definitely can, and our answer is a 2 by 2. C is negative 3, 2, 4, negative 5. A is negative 1, 4, negative 2, 0. And there's a 2 by 2. First row, first column. Positive 3 minus 4. First row, second column. Negative 12 plus 0. Second row, first column. Negative 4 plus 10. Second row, second column. 16 minus 0, or plus 0, either one, same thing. And 3 minus 4 is negative 1, negative 12, 6, 16. And looking at my answer on my page, I did get the same thing. So I think we're good. Use matrices to solve each system. So this is where the calculator is necessary. In part B, I could do this longhand, but it's so much easier to use the calculators. So I make a matrix equation. 2, negative 3, 1, 4, xy, negative 6, negative 14. So what we're doing to solve for xy is to make this cancel, we're multiplying both sides by this one's inverse. That one's inverse, both sides. So a matrix times its own inverse is the identity matrix 1, 0, 0, 1. So that cancels, leaving just the xy. And then on the right hand side, this is a 2 by 1 and this is a 2 by 2. So I can't put them in that order. I just have to swap them and put the 2 by 2 in front. And so whatever the product of these two multiplied with the 2 by 2 in front is our answer. So that's like the overall of what we're doing. So we can do that in the calculator by making this one matrix A, this one matrix B, and then I'm typing mat A inverse times mat B. And that gives us an answer of negative 6, negative 2. All right, and same thing, but you can't do this one longhand. You have to use the calculators because we didn't learn how to do an inverse of a 3 by 3. It's like a whole big long page of work. You want to use the calculator. So we've got x, y, z. So our coefficients, negative 6, negative 2, negative 1, 5, 1, negative 6, negative 4, negative 6, negative 6. Now remember, if on the final, if one of them's missing, like say this didn't have a z, then that would mean it's a 0. But this one has it. Equals negative 17, 19, negative 20. And again, make that one matrix A, this one matrix B. And then we type mat A inverse times mat B. And we get x is 2, y is 3, z is negative 1. And so these are statistics questions, and we just shared, me and Mr. Nesser. He teaches the other Algebra 2 honors, and for the last couple weeks he had extra time, so he did a little unit on statistics. And so we're not doing that. We didn't do that, and so I don't think I included those on your guys' copy, so those just weren't even there. So that means we are done. Yay!